just going ahead and talking about week number 10 in the NFL, the Cowboys. I call this TNT, which is my thoughts and talk about the Dallas Cowboys. London game would have been the Cowboys at the Jaguars, but the Jaguars agreed to, have their home game played on a neutral field over in London to kind of expose, the NFL and let the people in Europe see some NFL games and see some action. And it's good for the NFL. It's good for the people in Europe that like football. And so we played a game with all the distractions over in London. And Cowboys went over there on Monday and, had some good practice. Coach Jason Garrett said, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday they had some good practice days. And they went in there and they did enough to win yesterday. Romo, I was concerned about him. I was thinking that the Cowboys might need to rest him, yesterday, and then let him have the bye week. That way he got a full 3 weeks of rest. But as the announcers said yesterday, 6 guys have had this exact same injury to their back, and none of them missed more than 1 week, which is what Romo missed last week when Whedon came in for Arizona. One still has to think, though, if Whedon had performed better last week against the Cardinals, that Romo might not have felt the pressure to play in this game, because it should have been a pretty easy win. I mean, you're talking about a 1-8 team. Cowboys capitalized on a couple of turnovers by the Jaguars. The fumbles really hurt them, especially the one way down there at their 15-yard line or whatever after the punt in the first half. Romo looked sensational. He looked like he was moving around in the pocket really well, throwing the ball really well, and 158 yards to Dez Bryant in the second quarter alone, because Dez Bryant didn't get his first catch until the second quarter. And then at halftime, he had 158 yards. So, outstanding play by Dez Bryant being able to get open, and both Tony Romo getting him the ball and putting it right in his hands. Romo had nice passes as well to other receivers. He wound up going 20 of 27 for 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Outstanding stats. Witten had some good catches as well. Escobar had a nice first down catch for 14 yards. DeMarco Murray had, 6 catches for about 5 yards apiece. DeMarco Murray ended up getting his 100 yards, barely. 19 rushes for 100 yards. He was stuck there at 99 yards for a while. But congratulations to him on another 100-yard performance. That really helped out. And then Joseph Randle, when Murray went to the sideline and had some grass and stuff like that in his, that they were trying to get off of him, get out of his helmet and everything. Randle went in for a play for him and had that 40-yard touchdown run. Outstanding play, but that was a play Randall went, and you could see how well our offensive line is, because that hole that they ripped open for Randall was just, it looked like a black hole. They just opened it up, and all Randall had to do was just run straight. And he did make a couple of nice plays and cuts there at the end, and broke a couple of tackles and got into the end zone. So congratulations on Randall for getting his touchdown in yesterday's game. So that was pretty awesome. Defense, again, played a really good game. They were after the ball. Offensive line for the Cowboys was all there. Leary and Doug Free came back, and you could see the difference. They protected Romo for the most part. I think Romo was sacked like once the whole game. And then, they did put in Brandon Whedon there towards the last half of the fourth quarter to protect Romo. He only really had one pass to Jason Witten for 8 yards. The rest of it was just running the ball and running out the clock, and they was able to do that. I got to say, though, guys, after saying Whedon last week and seeing how well the Jaguars played, especially on offense, they were able to get a lot of passing yards. Blake Bortles had 290 yards of passing, and Shorts had 119 receiving, and then Robinson had 60 yards. So I do want to go ahead and say I really believe that if Whedon had played again and Romo had rested, I think this game would have been a lot closer, and I would not be surprised if the Cowboys would have lost another game had Whedon played. Now, I know a lot of people may scoff at this, but with Whedon playing, the Jaguars would have done exactly the same thing as the Cardinals did last week and basically just put everybody up to stop DeMarco Murray And as long as they could stop him to, no yards and 1-2 yard carries, which I believe they could have done, focusing on only Murray, Whedon, would have had to pass the ball. He would have been stuck in third and long situations, and Whedon doesn't excel at that. We saw that last week. So I think that would have been a big difference maker in the game. And, I mean, you can see that from last week to this week, the play at quarterback. Romo can hit wide open receivers even when they're 40 yards downfield, like on the 68-yard touchdown to Dez Bryant. And Whedon doesn't seem like he can hit a guy that's 5 yards in front of him. He's throwing it behind him. He's throwing it way over their head. Whedon is not the guy we want backing up Tony Romo, period. We saw enough of Whedon last week, and I hope that we don't have to see him again in any situation where we're needing a win or because Romo's hurt, because Whedon is not going to be able to do it. Whedon was kicked out of the Browns. He was drafted in the first round back in 2010 or whatever it was, 2012, whatever it was, but that certainly doesn't show that he's a capable quarterback. He's had plenty of games to try to win. He's played 25, 26 games, whatever it is, and that should give you enough experience to be better than what he's showing in the games. So Dallas really needs to focus on getting a better backup quarterback to Tony Romo for next season. That should be a high priority. But yeah, Whedon's not our guy, and hopefully Romo stays healthy so that we can make a playoff run. We're 7-3 now, and again, same kind of credits to pretty much the same guys. This game is every other game for the past several weeks. Defense playing good as a team. Melton played good yesterday. We just saw all the guys for the Cowboys at defense, hurrying after the ball and making plays. They did get burned in the passing quite a few times, but, when we blitzed them, and a lot of times we were able to make plays and pressure Blake Bortles into making mistakes, throwing the ball completely off and stuff like that. But, hats off to the defense for playing a good enough game to keep us in the ball game, to keep them from scoring when it mattered. And hats off again to Romo, Dez Bryant, 158 total yards. Murray with another 100-yard game. And, the offensive line, again, deserves huge kudos. And, it's a good thing we've invested in an offensive line because it makes all the difference in the world. So Dallas now has a bye next week. That's good. That'll give Romo time to go ahead and rest and recuperate. After that, we're at the Giants on a Sunday night game. And then right after that, we play the afternoon game as usual on Thanksgiving Day. 4 days later, we play against Philadelphia. And then I think it's the Bears on a Monday night game. And then another Philadelphia game. And then the Colts and the Redskins. So we only have 6 games left. So, I'm hoping we can split the games with the Eagles. I don't see us winning both of those. I hope we do. But I see us splitting with the Eagles. And I see this losing to the Colts. I don't know why, but I see us losing probably a good game, probably a high-scoring affair to the Colts. But we could very easily lose that, and we might lose one of the other games to either the Bears, the Giants, or the Redskins again. I figure we'll lose one of those. So my prediction the last half of the season is the last 6 games of the season, I predict Dallas maybe going 3-3. I'd love to go 4-2. I don't see it happening, though. I predict 3-3. But if we do go 3-3, that's going to put us at 10-6. Should give us a good shot at getting in the playoffs. If we do better than I expect the last 6 games of the season, and we go 4-2, that puts us at 11-5. And so 10-6, 11-5 is probably a pretty predictable or a pretty likable or pretty likely ending season for Dallas, and that should put the Cowboys in the playoffs. Let's hope so. Do they have enough talent to, go very far in the playoffs? That's going to depend on their health. It's really going to depend on how healthy they stay. That's why I really hope that Romo can rest and that he's, going to be able to play at 100%, and the offensive line continues to protect him, because if Romo goes down, we're in trouble. We are in trouble if Romo goes down. Dez Bryant, DeMarco Murray, either one of those guys go down, it's going to hurt us big time. Those are our big playmakers, so let's hope that we continue to have the health of our 3 main guys, with our quarterback Romo, Dez Bryant, our hot rod wide receiver, and DeMarco Murray, our running back. If we can keep those three guys healthy, I think we have a shot to go further in the playoffs than we've been since the 90s, so 96 or whatever. So do I realistically think the Cowboys can make it all the way to the Super Bowl? No, I don't think so. I don't think we're that good. I think there's teams out there that would probably still blow us out, and but who knows? Who knows? Want to know what you guys think? Be sure you put your comments below. Be sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure you give me a thumbs up if you like this video, if you like my thoughts. But again, hats off to the Cowboys. Kind of a game most people expected that we would win, and we should have won. So we did enough to win. I wouldn't say that we, performed excellent. I wouldn't give us a great grade. Some of the guys deserve a better grade than others. Romo and Dez Bryant, of course. Hats off to them. But as a team, I think we could have played better. Some of our drives shut down, in the second half that probably should have been into the end zone and against the better team. It might have cost us the game. So I'll give us a B minus, C plus as far as a team performance yesterday. But it was enough to beat the Jaguars. So hey, a win's a win, and I'll take it. But we'll see you back here in 2 weeks with more thoughts and talk after the Cowboys play the Giants after their bye. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Take care. This has been Zach's 99.